Have you ever submitted your information online onto a website that said it could help you? Hi, my name is Christopher Westfall. I'm a licensed insurance broker. I've been doing insurance for over 25 years, and I struggled with this question as to whether or not to make this project public or not. And it's taken me days and days to contemplate, seek other counsel, even ask my attorney, is this okay to do this? Here's the conclusion that I came to. It serves much greater of a public good to put this information out there than to keep this quiet. You see, in my office, every day we get calls from people who have inadvertently entered their information into a website only to be called repetitively, their names sold over and over again to other websites and other lead vendors, so that agents just blow up their phone constantly. And what do these agents say when they call? That's what I'm about to show you. I had the experience of answering the call, turning on a camera, recording what was on this side of the conversation, and hearing all kinds of inaccurate information. First of all, I told them in the online information that I was turning 65 in January of 2020. As a matter of fact, January 10, 1955 is the date of birth that I put in there. As such, any agent out there that's been in the industry for any length of time should know that in 2015, a law was passed that by January 1st, 2020, no one that turns eligible for Medicare past January 1st can get a Medicare supplement Plan F or Plan C anymore. And yet, that's what this agent was intent on pushing, as you will hear in the video that's coming up. So the agent did not know that I could not even purchase, as a brand new 65-year-old in 2020, I could not even purchase Plan F even if I wanted to. But since it's the highest commission, highest premium plan out there, that's what he pounded on time and time again. When pressed just to find out what the other plans are, he didn't know. When I asked him specifically about Plan N, he had no idea what excess charges were, as you will see, how the co-payments worked, what the 15% was, what it cost to go into a hospital. Absolutely knew nothing about that. And yet this is the frontline person who may call you if you enter your information into a random website. I've got a couple of these videos, and I'm considering sharing with you the second because it's even more troubling than the first. However, in this first one, the entirety of the video will be brought to you unedited. I'm not going to add any silence clips in there. What he had in there was actually what really happened. The part that I will interject in there is where I've covered years ago how the excess charges actually work on Plan N, because it's important not to leave this video with a gaping hole wondering the question, what are excess charges and are they part of the conversation if you're considering a Medicare supplement Plan N? This plan's been around since 2010, folks, and the fact that MACRA takes effect January 1, 2020 has been out since 2015, which is when I first put out the video about it, and many times since. The fact that there's an insurance agent who holds and carries a license to do insurance does not know what this field is about very much troubles me. There's a part of the video that gets quite boring where I go into asking him about his licensure here in my state, which I always encourage prospective clients to look up. Look up someone's license. Look it up on the state website. I did this with this particular individual, and I'll save some time, and I'll put it at the end of the video, but I'll cut out that boring part and just leave all the rest, which talks about benefits and how little he knew about them. The fact is, he is licensed here in my state, but is not appointed to represent any of the carriers that he kept spouting off. Only at the end of the conversation was it revealed that he wouldn't actually write the application. He would just hand me off to someone else who is licensed and appointed to write those companies. Even more troubling to me. After the conversation, I did call one of the insurance carriers, Aetna, as the one he wanted to sell really bad, and asked them if he was contracted with them to sell insurance. And they said yes, he had not been appointed in the state of South Carolina merely because he'd never written a case here before. These are things you probably want to check out with someone before you give them all your personal information. What's their experience level? You'll see in this video, which is not taken out of context as, one of 20, because I don't frankly have the time to vet these things. This was literally the first call seconds after submitting my information on their website. And again, it was done just for educational purposes so that people in the public can know what can potentially happen if you just inadvertently enter your information into a random website. First, you have to look at those terms and conditions to see if they're going to sell your information over and over again, which this one specifically did say that it would do. So without any further ado, I'll wrap up the video at the very end, but here's what happens when you enter your information into a random website for insurance. Enjoy.
We'll be calling you shortly with our rate. Holy cow. That was quick. Hello? Oh.
details, please press 1. To be removed from this list, please press 2.
What did you say?
Hello, we're calling because you filled out our form for a free health insurance quote, and it's ready. To hear the details, please press 1. To be removed from this list, please press... Hello, John. We received your information. I see you're under the age of 64 and shopping for a plan in South Carolina.
Yes.
Okay. Alright, and are you on disability, Medicare, Medicaid, being treated for cancer?
No, I'm turning 65 in January.
Okay. Can you budget $150 a month, or are you looking for something less than that?
Can I budget $150 a month? Yes. Is that what Medicare supplements cost in South Carolina?
Correct.
Okay. Yeah, I guess so.
Okay, hold on one moment. I'll transfer you to a licensed agent.
How much can you spend right now?
Like Select Quote Senior. Calls may be monitored and recorded for quality assurance.
Call me right away. Now I'm on hold. I've been called to put on hold.
We're calling you back because you indicated that you were interested in a health insurance quote. We'd like to connect you to an alternate insurance provider that can give you a fast quote and help you save. Please press 1 to be connected.
To an alternate insurance.
To be removed from the...
Hello, John. We received your information, and I see that you're looking for health insurance in South Carolina. Is this correct?
Yes.
Okay. Are you looking for an individual or for a family plan?
Individual.
Okay. And are you on disability, Medicare, Medicaid, or being treated for cancer?
I'm sorry, Medicare, Medicaid, or what?
Or being treated for cancer?
Being treated? No, I'm turning 65 for Medicare.
Are you already enrolled in Medicare Part A and B?
Yes.
Okay. Let me get you right over to an agent in South Carolina, okay?
Okay.
Please hold for a moment.
South Carolina. That's cool. I'm gonna hold.
Hello, Mr. Stamos. My name is Matthew. I'm a licensed Medicare sales agent here in your state. I've been assigned to your file to assist you today. How are you?
I'm great, Matthew. How are you?
Is this John Stamos?
That's correct, sir. And where did you say you're located, Matthew?
I'm here in the Florida department, but we are licensed here in the state of North Carolina.
Oh, you're in the Florida department, but you're licensed in North Carolina?
And also other states as well, and about 32 other states.
Okay, I'm in South Carolina. Are you licensed in South Carolina?
So, South Carolina, yes, sir. South Carolina is one of my states. We're with Aetna, Cigna, Humana, WellCare, Mutual of Omaha are all my appointed carriers in that state.
Okay. I'm looking for a Medicare supplement plan. Can you help me with that?
I sure can. And Mr. Stamos, what we're going to do is I'll be able to go over some coverage with you, some plan details, of course, but I need your date of birth and your zip code, and I can go ahead and pull that up for you.
Okay, I put that into a website already that said it was secure. Did you get my information?
That information was not transferred to me. I only got your name and your phone number.
Okay. My date of birth is 1/10 of 55. And what else did you need? I'm sorry.
Your zip code here in South Carolina.
29464.
All right. And since you're since you're turning 65 in January, you are in your your initial enrollment. You currently have Medicare A and B starting on January 1st, correct?
Yeah, that's correct.
All right. We put your effective dates here.
I'm sorry,
So,
Matthew, who did you
now,
say who are you with? I'm sorry.
I'm appointed with Aetna, Cigna, Humana, Mutual of Omaha, WellCare are my top A-rated carriers that I'm appointed with.
Okay, who are you with? I'm sorry. Who are you with?
I'm with One Stop Quotes. I'm just a brokerage firm, and I'm directly appointed with those carriers.
Okay, and you're in Florida. Is that what you said?
Yes, sir.
Okay, I'm with you now.
All right. So just based off your information in your state and in your area here, it's going to show me the rates for the plans. Now, has someone explained to you Part A and B?
Yeah, I got that figured out.
Okay, excellent. So in your position, somebody in your position, what they would do is they would opt into looking for a supplement plan. Now, supplements would either be through Advantage or through a Medigap. Medigap will go ahead and be something like a plan level, like a plan F, plan G. Has someone explained something like that to you?
Yeah, I've read about them a little bit online.
All right. So those plans, what they're going to do is they're going to provide you with coverage for Medicare A and B and supplement the cost, because you know that 20% on Medicare, on your Medicare A and B, you have a 20% no cap. Okay? So, let's see here. 1, 2. All right, so these are the plans. Plan F is going to be the highest option plan to select from. Here in your state, the lowest rate with the top 8 rated carriers that we have is going to be with Aetna. It's $143.24. That's a Plan F. Plan F coverage will cover 100% of Medicare's Part A and 100% of Medicare's Part B. That's going to be for the deductible for under your hospitalization, which is $1,364. That would be your Medicare A deductible and your Medicare A co-payments. So for that would be covered at 100%. So that way you're not responsible for that deductible and the co-payments that come after it. Now, the co-payments that would come after a 61-day hospitalization would end up being like $341 from days 61 to 90, and a $682 co-payment for days 90 through 150. So to avoid those medical costs, Plan F will cover you 100%. That plan level is $143.24. Also, for Part B, this is your outpatient services. You have a $185 deductible for any for any doctor visits and any outpatient services. Now, with this Aetna Plan F, it will cover that at 150%, so you won't be subject to that $185 copay. Deductible, and your 20% no cap co-insurance. Part B will cover everything 80-20, but that 20% has no cap, meaning that if you have something like a $100,000 medical bill, you can be exposed to $20,000 in that 20%, and that can increase because that's just using $100,000 as an example. So that no cap will go ahead and leave you exposed to higher medical costs. So what this Plan F will do is cover that at 100%, so you're not exposed to that 20% no cap. And this is with Aetna. This is $143.24 a month.
Okay, I was told that I can't get Plan F because my birthday is in January 10th of 2020. Is that right, or can I buy Plan F?
All right. So if you enroll into Plan F before January 1st, then that you would be eligible for it because it's before 2020 and you enrolled while it was still available.
So
Plan
you
G
can
is
sign
going
me
to
up
be
for
the
Plan
next
F
level.
today?
Yes, sir.
Oh, cool. Even though my Part B and everything doesn't start until next month? I mean, January?
As long as you enroll, before 2020, Plan F is still available.
Well, I'll be darned. Is that what you recommend?
Well, Plan F is the highest option. We can only work our way down from there. So Plan F is always our recommended option because of the significant amount of coverage that you get. Plus, you're at a guaranteed issued stage. So you're guaranteed issued to be approved for it. There's no underwriting required.
And the deductible for Plan F is $185?
There is actually no deductible. That's Part B's deductible. It's $185 for any outpatient services. That would be under Part B. Plan F will go ahead and cover that 100%. If you had selected an option such as Plan G, which will be next year's highest option, let's see here. Cigna actually has the lowest rate for Plan G, and it's $119.81. And Plan G has the only thing for the deductible is the $185, and then after that, 100% of Part B's excess would go ahead and be covered at 100%. So that plan does have a $185 deductible, but Plan F does not have a $185 deductible. Plan F is 100% for both A and B.
So the cost of Cigna Plan G, I'm just writing this down, is $119 for January?
For 2020, this is $119.81.
Okay. And you mentioned Aetna before. Does Aetna have the Plan G as well?
Yeah, it's just about almost $1 more. So I mean, honestly, I'm just going with the lowest rate. Aetna's is $120.72. Now, when it comes to a Medigap plan, the carrier really doesn't matter because the accepted insurance is Medicare. So what the accepted insurance when you go to a doctor or hospital, it's going to be what Medicare. Who's accepting Medicare? It doesn't go by the carrier when it comes to Medigap because it's not a network. They're just going to go ahead and cover you what Medicare doesn't cover.
Okay. I had seen a quote somewhere for Cigna, but it was showing $131 a month, but you've got it for $119.
I got it for $119.81.
Interesting. Okay. And do you have the Plan N as well?
Plan N. All right, so this is Plan N. Let's see here. All right, Aetna has the lowest rate. It is $89.11. Now, Plan N, the coverages here covers 100% of Part A's coinsurance and covers 100% of Part A's deductible. So that covers 100% of Part A. Your Part B excess, covers 100% of Part B's coinsurance after you meet the yearly Part B deductible, which is $185. So for doctor visits, for Part B's excesses, you'll just have say for instance some co-pays for doctor visits will be $20 for some office visits and $50 co-payments for emergency room visits. So you'll have the co-insurance to 20% covered after the $185, but then for doctor visits and stuff like that, you'll just have some small co-pays. This plan would be $89.11.
Okay, you mentioned something about excess something. What was that?
Part B's excess would be like doctor visits, so they would cover 100% of your doctor visits and out-of-pocket expenses like for outpatient services.
Are other providers, typically specialists, who don't accept Medicare as payment in full, but they'll still bill Medicare for you. That creates a gap of excess charges in which Plan F or Plan G will pay for you. They pay excess charges. Plan N does not pay those excess charges. Now, there are a few states, and I'll put them here on the screen, where it's illegal for doctors to charge you excess charges in those states. They call it the Medicare overcharge measure in those states. So if you're in those states, Plan N having the exposure to excess charges is not even a consideration whatsoever. But I would argue, as Aetna did in a recent study, that it only affects about 4% of the providers, typically specialists. So with Plan N, to recap, you've got up to $20 copay at the doctor, $50 copay for the emergency room, and you're exposed to excess charges if your doctor does not accept full Medicare assignment. And there's an easy way to check if your doctor accepts Medicare or not. You go to medicare.gov, as I'll show you right here. You go to Medicare and you look for the providers, the participating providers. And if they accept Medicare assignment there, then they are working with Medicare, and you can feel good knowing that you can go right to that doctor without worrying about excess charges.
But just on this plan and Plan N, it's just you'll have co-pays and set rates, set payments.
So it's a set copay of $20 every time at the doctor.
Yeah, that's what it says here. Word for word, it says Part B's co-insurance covers 100% of Part B's co-insurance after you meet your yearly Part B deductible, which is $185. You have to pay for a co-payment up to $20 for some doctor visits and $50 co-payments for emergency room visits.
What does that mean, up to $20? Is it $20, or what does that mean? How does that calculate?
Up to, it's like a $20 co-payment. It depends on what the doctor charges for their co-payment, but they can't be no more than $20 for a primary care specialist.
Okay. So there's no trouble with excess charges because they're already covered on Plan N?
Part B's excess coverage is not covered, and the Part B deductible.
So Part B excess charge is not covered?
Correct. And then it's covered 100% on Plan G and Plan F. Plan G after the $185 deductible, and then on Plan F just from day one.
Okay. So the deductible did not change for next year. It's still $185?
As of right now, the information I have is still at $185.
Okay. So if I
knew like the year before it was like around $183.
Okay. So if I sign up with you on a Medicare plan and I have like really bad rate increases in a couple of years, who do I call about that, like to look at the market again?
Well, we can reshop anything for you here at One Stop Quotes. We do continue a business relationship, so we'd be able to do that for you. Or if you want to call any broker, they can reshop it for you. But here we'll go ahead and provide you with all our customer service to do that for you. This way each year we can reshop the plan for you. Of course, if you can get through underwriting, once you're through your guaranteed issued stage, which is 6 months after your Part B effective date, you have up to 6 months to switch the plan in and out, guaranteed issued. So say, for instance, this Aetna plan, Plan F, for $143, you find it through another carrier, it's cheaper, and you want to go ahead and switch, you're still in your guaranteed issued stage for up to 6 months from January 1st, you'll be able to make the switch.
Okay. Can you tell me a little bit about your firm? I've never heard of the First Quote, or what did you call it?
One Stop Quotes?
One Stop.
Well, yeah, we're just a brokerage firm. We are just, I'm pretty much like a 1099 contracted. All I do is I'm appointed directly with the carrier. So I go through the background checks, I go through the schooling, and then they provide me with their tools to market their products. So I'm pretty much like a standalone broker. I can look. Aetna is just appointed me directly just to market their products. Same with Cigna. Same with Mutual. Same with Humana.
Okay, so you've got
WellCare.
You've got like 5 companies you can do in South Carolina.
Well, the only companies that are coming up for us here in South Carolina are Cigna, Mutual, Omaha, Aetna, and those are the only 3.
Okay. And
I have like advantage plans like WellCare and Humana and Aetna and advantage plans. But those are different options.
Right.
Now, if I do I have your permission to discuss Advantage plans?
No, not right now. I'm pretty much settled on the supplements, and I'm just making a whole bunch of notes here. What's the best number to reach you back at, Matthew? All right. And so, of these companies and of these plans, which one would you recommend?
Well, obviously, the one with the lowest rate would be a great option here for you because it's the lowest rate, and since the coverage plan F is the highest plan you can get, and it is the same benefits for every single plan F plan out there. I'd just go with the best rate if it means anything. That 143.24 is just a better rate than what Cigna, Mutual, Omaha. They're all great top A rated carriers. Just obviously they offer a lower rate, and the reason why they do that is because Cigna or Mutual, what they'll do is they'll accept people with maybe some more pre-existing conditions that they won't decline for. So in those underwriting guidelines, some of them will take on people that might have diabetes, something that happened about a couple years ago. They don't look back as far, so that's why they have higher rates.
Okay, so you said go for the lowest rate but on which plan?
Aetna is the plan F. Aetna offers plan F for $143. Cigna offers plan G for $119.81. It's about $1 less than what Aetna charges. Mutual, Omaha. No, that's still pricey. Mutual, because Aetna, Cigna, Mutual are the top A-rated carriers that I market for in your area that are available, and that's the rate for them. And I'm just going with the best rate that's in that amongst those three.
So which plan would you go with?
The same plan I set my mother up with just back in August was the plan F. She had just a knee replacement that's actually scheduled for January. That's going to be covered at 100%. So that's something I recommend for a lot of clients because of the amount of coverage, and you get it from day one.
So hypothetically speaking, if I have a knee replacement 2 months into my Medicare and I'm on plan N, how much would that cost me?
For the surgery?
Yeah.
Then you would be subject to,
Going into the hospital and plan N?
so the service is maximum of 15% of excess charges. So about up to 15% of the medical bill.
15% of the medical bill. So I thought the hospital was covered under Part A of Medicare.
I meant of the outpatient service, outpatient surgical benefit.
Okay, so if I'm in the hospital and I have a surgery done?
Let's see. Yeah, because it's not. I'm just not have the right information to give you an accurate question, so I don't want to say something I'm not too sure about for that plan N. But I know under plan F, it would be under the Part B access. It covers 100% of Part A and Part B. So
if I went into the hospital,
plan F would be 100%.
All right. So if I went in the hospital and plan F, it's $0 for me. If I go in the hospital and plan G, how much is it for me?
Hospital is still covered at 100%. It's just your outpatient services will have a $185 deductible.
Okay.
So you'll pay out of pocket for, like, say, for instance, your first doctor visit. Say your doctor charges you $200.
All right.
You'll pay the first $185.
Right. And back to the surgery, if I have it in the hospital, inpatient on Plan N, how much does that cost me?
See, it's not giving me that information in here in front of me for like a surgery. Let me see here.
I'm like fully admitted into the hospital.
Well, it covers hospitalization 100% for Plan N.
Okay.
And it covers 100% of the deductible for Plan N. So Part A has a deductible and co-payments. Covers 100% of the co-insurance after you meet the Part A deductible per benefit period, plus covers 365 days additional days after your Medicare benefit ends,
Right.
and then also covers 100% of the Part A deductible. So that's all Plan N.
Okay.
So it might be that you're subject, as it says here, Part A co-insurance after you meet the Part A deductible, but Part A deductible is also covered under N. So I would assume that you don't have any co-insurance.
Okay. And what is the hospital co-payment if I don't have a Medicare supplement next year?
If you don't have one,
Yeah.
you'll be it's $1,365. No, $1,364 for the deductible for Part A, and then Part A has co-payments for
Right.
hospitalization, because after 60 days post-discharge, you'll have $341 co-pays
Okay. Let me
per
ask you-
day, days 61 through 90.
Matthew, if I sign up with a Medicare supplement with you, do you do the drug plans too?
Yes, sir.
Okay. How does that work?
All right. And do you currently take medications right now?
No, I just need some cheap plan.
Yeah, because you don't want to be exposed to the Part D late enrollment penalty. So when you do sign up for a supplement, I was just going to ask you this after we got through all the other questions. The Part D is going to be for prescriptions. Okay, so this is you have A and B, and then if you selected F, G, or N, you'd have A and B plus F, G, or N, and then you have a D, and that would be for the prescriptions. Prescription plans are going to be through Humana, WellCare, Silver Scripts. Depending on which prescription you take and what's in the formulary, it all really depends on the drug savings. But the plans start off at $13.20. They have Humana, WellCare is $13.80. Then the Silver Scripts are going to be $21.60. Now, these all have drug deductibles. They're $435 for a drug deductible. Until you start getting into the higher tier prescriptions, like a Tier 5 specialty, Tier 4 prescription, those are going to be the higher end costs.
Right.
You're going to want to select an option that has no deductible, because your tiers 3 through 5 are actually subject to the deductible.
Right. I don't take any drugs.
Those plans are a little bit more expensive. Well, in the event that you did,
Okay.
that would go ahead and that's what you would look into, maybe something with no deductible. And those plans start off at $73, and that's with WellCare, and
Okay.
$77 with Silver Script.
So if I take no drugs, how do I get signed up for the cheapest plan?
Cheapest plan would be through WellCare or through Humana. It's $13.20 for Humana, or $13.80 for WellCare. So
Okay.
one of those would be a decent amount of coverage for you for prescriptions, and so that way you avoid the Part D penalty.
So how do I get signed up for
So
the
if you
cheapest plan?
say that again.
How would I get signed up for the cheapest plan?
Well, we can go ahead and get you enrolled for whatever plan you decide that you would like to go with. If you want the Humana, it's $13.20. It's the lowest option.
Okay. How does that enrollment work?
It's pretty simple. What you would do is just provide your Medicare number. You'll go ahead and go through the application. providing them just basic general information from your name to address, and then you could use either your Medicare card to get it deducted from your Social Security, or use an electronic fund transfer, which would be through a routing an account.
Okay, who would do that application?
I would go ahead and transfer you to the Humana specialist for the Humana, our enrollment department.
Okay, so if I wanted that other one, that would you say it was WellCare? Who would do that enrollment?
It would be somebody with WellCare.
Somebody with
an appointed agent with WellCare.
Okay.
Somebody appointed with WellCare.
All right, so you
or I can do it. I'm appointed with them. I can actually do it all for you. I can actually enroll you into all these plans.
Okay.
It's just what we do here. We'll go over the plan, and then this way, so I can assist another client. Once a client, of course, selects an option after we discuss the plan details. What I do is I just give it to my secondary agent to go ahead and provide me. Of course, that secondary agent is appointed and licensed.
So what part can you do, and what part does a secondary agent do? I'm confused.
Well, I just do the part where I assist you as an agent. I can read the plan to you. I can describe the plan in detail for you, read off the plan benefits, and go ahead and answer any questions for you, to the best of our knowledge here. So, depends on, when we have a heavy flow of, clients and calls coming in, I usually use my secondary agent to assist me, so I can go once we are done, I can assist another client as well.
Okay, so you would not actually do the actual application for the Medicare supplement plan?
No, I'd go ahead and I'd go over the plan details, tell you the cost. If you have any concerns, questions, and things like that, we'll do our due diligence here, and we'll go ahead and, get those answered for you.
Okay, so who would actually be my agent?
Me. I would be your agent.
But you wouldn't write the application?
I'm sorry?
But you would not write the application for the insurance?
I can.
Okay, could you tell me who would?
Well, it depends. We have a few different agents here that enroll, so all they do is just take the information for the application. I go over the plans in detail because I'm more knowledgeable on the product.
Oh. Okay. All right, Matthew. I've got your phone number here, and I've got everything that I need. I really appreciate your time today.
All right. Well, is there anything else I can answer for you?
No, that's it. Thank you.
Wow. So let's recap. Matthew doesn't know that there's a different deductible for 2020 for Part B or Part A. Oh, and here's them calling again. Hello, this is John.
Hi, John. My name is Jay. I'm calling from Medicare Solutions. How are you today?
Well, that's the video. I find it quite troubling. That was one of the most painful conversations of listening to other insurance agents, which I've done thousands of times, of having thousands of agents contracted through me, of hearing the worst example of someone literally on the front lines to answer questions about benefits of Medicare, of which this person said that he was an expert trained in, that he could literally read the benefits, which he should know because they're not that cumbersome to learn. And it's important to know in the context of this thing, first, he didn't know he couldn't sell me Plan F because I was not eligible, as I'm turning 65 after January 1 of 2020. He didn't know how Medicare works entirely, the excess charges, what are they? Didn't understand that the Part B deductible is $198 for 2020. This video was shot, the call made on November the 11th. And yet on November 8th is when CMS announced to everyone, which every good agent should be on the CMS email distribution list to understand what the rates are going to be for the next year, for the following year. It has been the same way for years now. On November 8th, they come out with that information. Apparently by November the 11th, he didn't know that it had changed. So consistently throughout the video, he tells the wrong deductible, doesn't know how the deductible is applied, doesn't know how Plan N works, which is fast becoming the most popular plan in Medicare supplements, and couldn't explain what happens when you go in the hospital in Plan N. The truth is it's covered at 100%, just like it is on Plan G, just like it is on Plan F. It's right there in the Medicare book. You could literally find it in a 10-second Google search on medicare.gov, and yet this agent did not know it. He spouted something about where you're going to pay 15% of the bill. It had nothing to do with reality whatsoever. So I'm concerned about this. I'm putting this in the public spotlight only for one reason. If you're relying on someone online that you just don't know who it is, you're frustrated, you just want an answer to how does this plan work and can I get set up with it? Pay close attention to the beginning of the video where he said, I can represent 3 plans. These are the 3 plans I can represent. Did you know that there are over 20 carriers in most states, and why is it that he's not recommending the other carriers? Who is he? What's his background? How long has he been in the business? What does he do? Who does he work for? These are questions that he never even broached. He just wanted to go into a repetitive synopsis of, here's the plan. I would put my mother on Plan F. And did you catch the part that my mother had Plan F and had knee surgery? And well, she's going to have knee surgery in January. So he just caught himself right in the same repetitive lie of, yeah, that's what I would put my mother with. I did. She had surgery, but actually, no, the surgery's not until months to come. It was just all over the place and wrong information at every turn. Every time I would press him for information, it would be the wrong answer after a long pause of trying to look it up in some guidebook, because even the Medicare and You guidebook, which everyone should have, is the precipice for getting into the insurance industry, is literally the pinnacle that you have to go through in order to start discussing with someone's benefits. And that's the starting point that seniors are already at. You already have the Medicare and You guidebook. So how can an agent know less information than it's in the book? Far less than what's already in the book. And add to that the lack of experience, the lack of knowledge. It's just very, very troubling. So I would just caution you, if you're going to enter your information into a website, please validate who you're speaking with. Do they have a license in your state? Are they appointed already with the companies that they're representing that they could actually sell? You could, like I did, call the carrier and say, is this agent in good standing with you? Could he write my application right now? And my answer on this one was, no, we'd have to do a few things to get him appointed in the state first, but then he could. And the reason for that is he'd never had submitted a case with them before. So the lack of experience should also be another factor. I don't do this video to relish in the fact that there's someone that's a competitor, if you would, in the industry doesn't know the information. I do it as a public service just to let you know, if you're considering putting your information online, these are things you should really look for. Experience, licensing, background, credentialing with the company, the ability to answer at the top of their head, what happens if I go into the hospital? That's the very basics of what Medicare is about. And yet this agent, and maybe many others, could not answer that question. This is literally the first call that I got. And there's one more that I did after that. May put that in a future video. I hope this has been of some value to you. I'm not happy at the result of this. I really hope that this person would be sharp. I'd be able to come back and say, look at this guy. He's got a real good game. He knows the benefits backwards and forwards. He knows the rates that are accurate. He's given me a good recommendation, not one that the recommendation he gave me would literally have a 10% rate increase right after I signed up, which would be waiting for me compounded next year with the increase from next year too. You never want to put somebody with a plan that you already know is going to go up 10% the minute after that ink is dry on that application, so that's waiting for them next year on top of their age increase, if there is one, on top of next year's rate increase, if there is one. You're setting up someone for failure. These are the things that go beyond just a quote engine, knowing what's happening with the companies. Anyway, I hope this has been some help to you. My name is Chris Westfall. If you have a comment about what happened, please put it in the comment section below. I'd love to hear your feedback on it. I do feel bad about how this thing turned out. I expected a lot more, but it's just randomly what we got. So anyway, please comment on the video below and like it if it's been of any use to being in the industry at all. Thanks so much. Bye-bye.
All right, it's 954 446 89, or our customer service is 1-800 504.
Okay, and do you have a last name, Matthew?
Yes, Kaiser.
Okay. And is there any extension needed at that phone number to reach you?
No, the 954 number is my direct number, but usually sometimes I'm on the other line assisting a client because it is an annual enrollment period. So sometimes that line is busy. So I give my customer service number out just in case you can't get a hold of me. You can, my customer service, she'll be able to go ahead and provide you with some information or take a message for me.
Okay. All right, and just to the last thing here, I'm just trying to verify because you never know who you're talking to on the phone, right? Um,
Sure.
let's see, and so you have a South Carolina license, right? And you're out of let's see, Fort Lauderdale, maybe. Is that you?
Yes, sir.
All right. They've got, like on the South Carolina website, they've got appointments for different companies, but I don't see Aetna, Cigna, Humana, Mutual, any of those companies. But you're contracted and you are appointed by those companies to sell those plans?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Is there any reason why it wouldn't show up on the state website by chance?
I'm not too familiar with that lookup. I mean, I can give you my license information.
Okay. Could you tell me what the license number is, maybe? Maybe I'm looking at the wrong thing.
All right, let me just pull that up for you. I'm sorry, no one's really ever asked me for all this information, so I don't really have it in front of me right this second. So let me just pull this up.
But you have written Aetna and Mutual and what was the other, Cigna in South Carolina for South Carolina people, right?
All right. So individual first name, Matthew. Because I have my license number here, and this is how you could be able to look it up. It's W38825. My MPN number. I'm going to pull that up. Is 1835. Oh. 8350591.
Yeah, I'm just looking at the South Carolina site. I'm trying to check out insurance companies and stuff, and I found your name on there, and that NPN number matches, but it just doesn't show any of the companies that you mentioned as being appointed with. That's why I was just curious. At the very bottom.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, no, my license is active. I am licensed with the insurance companies. I'm pointed directly with, Aetna, Humana, Cigna. I was registered with them directly. That's why I have these tools in front of me.
Okay, and you said you're 1099, so that means you're contracted with somebody, not actually an employee of an agency or anything.
Yeah, I'm not directly appointed with Aetna. I don't work for Aetna. I'm appointed with them, and they allow me to market their products.
Right, but you don't work for an
licensed
agency.
agent.
You work for an
No, not for pretty much what Aetna does is hire my FMO as my as someone to market their material. So they put us through all the training in order to market their material, and then once we go through the training and get approved through their test and things that we have to do, then we're allowed to market their products, and then they allow us to sell their products.
Okay, I don't know what FMO means. I was just wondering if you work for an agency in Florida.
Yeah, it's like an FMO agency would be like a field marketing organization. So Aetna, Humana, Cigna, those large carriers, instead of hiring their own agents, what they do is hire an FMO, which allows, and they all obviously have to be approved by them before they start marketing their products. But that's how we are here on the phone today discussing these options.
Okay.